Today's devotion is asking you a question in the title. It is, what thief is trying to kill your testimony? We are on day 178, walking through the Bible alphabetically, and we're almost halfway through the year. And we are on June the 27th. And today's morning rinse is John 10 through 12. And today's featured verse is a very, very popular verse. It's John 10:10. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. So that leads me to that question that I asked earlier. What thief is trying to kill your testimony? So the reason why I asked that is because as a pastor's kid, I have, you've heard me say this before. I've attended many conferences, youth conventions, camps, services, all kinds of different, events centered around my faith. And I've attended a lot where teachers and even pastors have misquoted John 10:10. Many people, when they quote this verse, they say, Satan comes to steal and kill and to destroy. If you read it again, it does not say Satan. It says thief. Now, while Satan is a thief, he is not the only thief in our lives. And it gives reference to that, but I think it's more than just focusing on Satan. The reality is, any voice or any distraction that moves us away from Jesus is a thief and a robber. Now, later in our morning rinse, as we were reading, we read about the chief priests trying to kill Lazarus because he was actually a living witness, a testimony of Jesus's power, and they were trying to kill him. We all have a testimony, a Lazarus story, if you will. It is this moment that has brought something in us to life again, to begin to breathe life into our testimony. And, whether it's our salvation story or whether it's a story of healing or whether it's a time that we were protected miraculously or even an answered prayer, we all have one. And if we don't, then watch out, because you will have those stories. And the reality of it is, something or someone is trying to shut down or kill our voice, so our testimony is not heard. Maybe it's the daily distractions that rob us of our daily quiet time to hear God's voice over the voices of the thieves in our lives. Maybe it's the voices of loved ones who do not want us talking about our faith, and they're robbing us of living in courage. Or maybe it's even our own voice in our head saying things like, I do not have anything to offer to the world. I've made too many mistakes. This voice can also rob us of the grace to share our own Lazarus story. So whatever voices that we hear that are not moving us towards God's plan for our lives are the voices that are robbing us of our destiny. They're the voices that are trying to destroy or kill our testimony. It's those things that are being used. It's not just this, enemy over here that, he is trying to take us out. No, it can be so many other things that are trying to steal our testimony and to rob us of vocalizing that testimony. Jesus knows that we have thieves in our lives, and he is here to give us power to keep them at bay. So today's challenge to dig deeper is to look around your life. Are there thieves in your life that are trying to kill your Lazarus story? Write them all down, whether it's, the thief of fear, whether it's, all of the horrible advertisements that are bombarding our children and our spouses and our loved ones that are trying to shape us into what the world would want us to shape into? Is it negative voices that are in our lives? Is it, negative influence in our lives? Is it music that is not uplifting God that's in our lives? What have we allowed in? And granted, some of the things just come at us, and it's not that we necessarily have open doors, but what is it in your life that you feel and see that's trying to rob you and trying to kill your Lazarus story? Write them all down that you know. And you might just have one major one, or you might have several, smaller ones that come at you at times. Maybe it's pride. Maybe it's, a little bit of, skepticism even. I don't know. But as you are writing, ask God to help you close your ears to each voice that is trying to destroy your testimony and your voice. And ask Him to give you boldness to keep your voice alive. It could be discouragement, I understand that. I understand, that there could be moments in time where you get discouraged and you just wonder, like, what am I doing, God? But ask Him to show you how to protect your voice, and ask Him to show you how to shield yourself. Like Jesus protected Lazarus, ask Him to help you protect your story. That's why I called it, what thief is trying to steal your testimony? Because it's bigger, than just, putting all of our, bank into the fact that it could be Satan only. No, it's what he uses in our lives and who he uses in our lives to bring us down or to rob our testimony. And when you're writing that down, also in your reflection, write down any changes that you are going to make to keep your testimony alive. When you feel discouraged, what are you going to do? Is it picking up the phone and calling somebody and just getting a little bit of, boost of energy again? Or is it turning off certain shows? Or is it turning off certain influences? What are you going to do to keep your testimony alive and to keep the thieves in your life at bay? Because they're not only coming at you, they're coming for your family. That's, we don't have Christ followers running every single industry in this nation. And even if we did, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's thief proof, right? There's a lot of things that are hitting us, and then our voices in our own head. Remember, I mentioned that, whatever that thief is in our lives, whether it's our own voice or insecurity or other voices in our lives, pray that God show you and write down what you're going to do to change and what you're going to do in your life that's different, that's going to keep your testimony alive. Is it posting a sign in your office that reminds you of something that keeps it alive? Is it, a certain song that you want to play every day? I don't know what that is, but write it down and challenge yourself to not listen to those thieves in your life. Challenge yourself and pray that God show you how to protect your voice and how to protect your testimony, just like Jesus protected Lazarus. And I'm praying that you are inspired, because you all have a voice and you all have something to say and influence out there for the people that are in your life. You all have influence. And so I'm praying that, you believe that. I'm praying that you know that from the shadow of your, there's no shadow of doubt in you at all. I pray that from the depth of your soul, you know this, and keep going at it. And until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.